Hey everyone, so now I'm going to take you through a demo of our dashboard in its current iteration. Over here on the left hand side, you'll see the four tabs: deposit, withdraw, portfolio, and transactions. You connect your wallet here in the bottom left. Any hot wallet that's supported will do. And once you sign in, you'll be able to access this no problem. So at the moment, we support 4 chains, EVM specifically. By the end of 26, we will support 12 chains, including non-EVM chains like Sui and Solana. But basically, you can deposit on any one of these chains and earn across all 4 automatically. So if you deposit on Arbitrum, you'll earn on Optimism, Base, and Avalanche without needing to do anything, right? So you don't have to bridge your assets, you don't have to pay any gas, you don't have to manually approve anything. It's all done automatically for you. So if we come here to Arbitrum, we can deposit, let's just say $5. Once we confirm the deposit, it will automatically go into the system. And like I said, you can choose any chain and deposit into the same strategy. So with Base, we'll deposit another $5. And the system will automatically move those assets for you. So if yield is being generated on Optimism today, you just have to deposit once on Base or on Arbitrum, and it will automatically move the assets for you on your behalf. If we go to withdraw, at the moment, you can only withdraw on the chain of the day. So today is Base. If it's Optimism tomorrow, you can withdraw on Optimism. But in version 2, you'll be able to withdraw on any of the chains that are supported. So you can deposit on Base initially, and then you can withdraw your USDC or USDT when it's supported on Solana, for example. The portfolio section is over here. This will show you since September the yield that's been generated in the platform. Right now, it's a steady sort of 5-6%. Obviously, when the market is hotter, we can take advantage of higher yield opportunities. But ultimately, when we have more chains integrated and more protocols integrated, we should easily be able to generate between sort of 8 and 16%. And we'll go through that in the presentation in a couple of minutes to show you how the system actually works. Okay, so off the back of the demo, we're going to dive in a bit deeper into the presentation to give you a bit more of an understanding of how the system actually works. So if we look at an example, everyone's familiar with VPay, I think. This is a virtuals project that has done extremely well in the last number of weeks and months. And it's our exact criteria, the clientele that we're looking for, right? They already have cards, swaps, and bridges linked up. But if you look down here, we've, after adding in an earn button, and this is exactly how it would look on the dashboard, albeit obviously not green. So simply, a user will come into VPay, they click on the earn button, a new table or a new interface will open up that would allow users to deposit their assets on any of the supported chains. Once they deposit, they simply walk away. They don't have to do anything else, and everything else is automated for them and optimized for them. So again, our system will move the assets from Base to Solana to Sui to Ethereum and vice versa, chasing the best yields possible so the users don't have to. And so this is the beauty of it. It brings more people into DeFi without them ever having to interact with a DeFi protocol, and thus opening up to a much, much bigger market. So going through the agents itself and the agentic framework, we have 3 individual agents that work together to drive the best results. We've got the yield agent, routing agent, and risk agent. The yield agent's job is to predict yields 24 hours in advance. So just because at the moment of rebalancing, a pool on Base might have the highest yields, it does not mean that it's going to be the highest yields 24 hours from now or even 12 hours from now. So we need to look at things like liquidity pool depth, inflows and outflows, utilization rates, historical yield patterns, and a whole host of other criteria to determine where the best yields are going to be over the next 24 hours. Then we look at the risk agent. The risk agent's job is to protect the capital at all costs. Yes, it's great to generate high yields, but we need to preserve capital no matter what. So we look at stablecoin peg stability for depegging events. We look at protocol and pool health, which is super important when deciding, where the capital is allocated, and also moved out of a pool that might be showing signs of anomalies. The example I use is UST, which was Luna's stablecoin. That was on Anchor protocol. And what we could see on chain is that there was a lot of odd behavior before the collapse of UST. Now, if you're a regular person, you can't see that unless you're watching the inflows and outflows on chain. But our risk agent will basically look at the pools 24/7, and if there are any anomalies, it will move that capital out of that pool and into a safer pool. And then finally, the routing agent looks at all of that and then decides where is best to place the capital. It looks at also cross-chain gas costs, chain congestion, pool capacity rates and utilization as well, right? So to make sure that the capital isn't going to be going into a thin pool, and therefore it can generate the best yields possible for the users based on where the best yields are going to be and also where the lowest risk is. Now, if we look at a rebalancing example, this is a great example that we made. It's super simple to understand. We've got Aave, which on all the EVM chains that we will obviously have integrated. And then we've got Solana, Aptos, and Sui. And so here on Monday, ETH on Aave is generating the highest yields. For example, on Thursday, it's AVAX. On Sunday, it is Solana. But each day, no matter where it is, the system routes the capital to the highest yielding pools. And you can see the averages over here sit around sort of the low to mid sixes. Naturally, this will be varying wildly in the real world, but we can capture all of the best opportunities per day and generate substantially higher yields for the user without the user having to move their assets from ETH to Base to Arbitrum to Polygon, etc. And so this is over the course of a week, which naturally over the course of a month or a year will be exponentially higher gains for the users. And so we actually ran this back-tested data and real-world data across the 12 chains that we will have integrated by the end of 26. Across 5 different protocols, naturally we will have more, so the opportunities will be greater. And the results speak for themselves, right? Neox is around 16.1% versus Camino, Aave, Aries, and Compound, which are substantially lower. If we look at it specifically using only these protocols, we outperform Camino by 65% and Aave by 137%. In fact, if we only choose Aave and we don't optimize any other protocol and we just move it between the chains on Aave itself, we can almost double the yield on Aave alone. So that's the power of cross-chain rebalancing. And that's why we can drive much better results than individual protocols can. And so we look at the roadmap, where we are and where we're going. So the dashboard is now live. We will add more chains to that, but ultimately it's all about stress testing, data collection, using the agents in real time, seeing how they perform and making tweaks. And then by the first half of next year, we will have the API available, which can be used by any neobanks, such as by VPay. And then beyond that, into 2027, what we do is we take that API and we make it modular. So if you think about Fireblocks, so it's like the yield infrastructure, stablecoin yield infrastructure, almost like what Fireblocks is, but for neobanks and fintechs, so that they own their own smart contracts, and therefore the risk is again dropped lower. And the reason we have to go through this process is because the bigger neobanks, who we've spoken to a couple of, they want to see tried and tested performance and security over a period of time before they'd be happy basically using our infrastructure in a modular fashion. And so in the first half of next year, we'll add more EVM chains. Then in the second half of next year, we'll be adding non-EVM chains, non-EVM protocols, and additional assets like USDT and RLUSD. So there you have it. I'm happy to answer any questions you have in the Telegram. Feel free to ping me directly. I'm an open book. We'll be doing some AMAs over the course of the coming weeks, pre and post TGE, and looking forward to having you all there. Thank you so much for your time. And once again, welcome to Neox.